She rises in the corner, with a low electric glow. Green fire in her figure, roots humming down below. When she starts to shimmer, I feel that charge unwind. My electric lady, skunk Afghani, on my mind. She's voltage in the leaves, thunder rolling through the stem. Sweet on the breath, but she'll break you at the hem. I touch her in the dark, and the whole room realigns. My electric lady, grown from mythic, ancient lines.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Jacob Cultivates. Oh, I'm rocking the grow tent a little bit with that intro. Thank you all for being here with me today. Today, we're going to be talking about these big, plump, High Hopes Skunk Afghani cannabis plants. So let's get up close and personal. Maybe not that close. Back out a little bit. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. Grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, maybe a soda. Here at Jacob Cultivates, we're drinking black coffee. I would tell you the brand, but I'm far too good at advertising. Now that's a good cup of coffee. I'm just playing around, folks. All right, let's go ahead and get in here and take a look at the plants, shall we? All right, folks, no messing around. We're going to get right in there, up close and personal. If we haven't already got up close and personal enough. So these are the High Hopes Skunk Afghani, currently in week 7. And they're actually towards the end of week 7. I had said at the end of week 7, beginning of week 8, I'm going to harvest the main tops. The depletion rate in the foliage is right where I want it to be. You can see the stems of the leaves all have a little bit of reddish coloration going on. And that has to do with the intense light that they're under right now. They're getting a bit of a suntan on those leaf stalks. See just how red they are. And how do I know it's the light doing that? Well, let's go down further. We start to see the pigmentation get less and less. Go down far enough, and you won't see any of that at all. So we got a little bit of sunburn, basically. Let's zoom in a bit. I get way better resolution zoomed in on the 1x. That's a beautiful bud right there. And these buds are chunking, folks. They are fat and they are heavy. Let's see, I'll grab a branch here. Give it a little shake so you guys can see. I don't know how much justice that really gives it. We're not going to shake this one too much. This is the monster cola right here. And it is quite monstrous. These are quite large internodal nugs. They're absolutely massive. That's a pretty big cola right there. Very sticky, very terpy. At this point in the grow, the skunk aroma has gotten very deep skunk. I would say it almost has a smell that's reminiscent of cat urine. So it's a skunk mixed with a cat urine smell, which none of that bothers me. I take care of about 10 cats, so, you know. And it's not exactly like cat urine, of course. It's just, it has a similar kind of smell to it. If one didn't know that it was weed, they might actually think it's cat urine. In fact, one time someone thought I had cat urine in my house because of a plant that was giving off that aroma. So it's definitely something that people confuse. But now I'm starting to go off on a tangent, of course. So yeah, we have a very deep, pungent skunk mixed with a bit of cat urine smell. And that's the overtone. That's the pungent overtone. When we touch the buds, when we get in there and put our fingers in it and everything, we sniff our fingers. All of a sudden, it's as if the overtone is this sweet, berry-like aroma. I'm not sure what type of berry I would liken it to, but it's definitely a berry aroma. And there's just so many notes of different berries going on. When you smell it, you'll say, that smells a little bit like blueberry. It's got a little bit of raspberry in there too. Ooh, I think I smell a little bit of watermelon as well. So there's all kinds of wild terpene aromas. And when you touch these buds, which I don't do very often, and I'm not an advocate of touching your buds very often, because it's minor stress to the plants, and we don't want to mess up our buds that are growing. So the only time I touch my buds is when I'm on video talking about my buds. So yeah, when you touch them, it's very sweet, very berry. But keep that in mind. It's not recommended that you touch your buds all the time. So some of you might be wondering, is Jacob Cultivates going to harvest those tops in 2 days? Are they ready? To be quite frank, I feel like they could go a couple more days. We're going to see what they look like in 2 days. But currently, they're still plumping up. They're still getting fatter. So I might actually wait to take these colas down. And it looks like I got that one leaning now. Whoops. See, that's why I don't want to touch these too much, because these buds are so heavy. Actually, most of them are tied to the top net, because when I set this net, I didn't set it high enough. I didn't set the net high enough to account for the flowering stretch when you first induce your plants into their flowering cycle. They go through a major stretch. Some cultivars stretch more than others, and if you're curious on what causes that stress, how to deal with that stress, you're going to want to check out one of my previous videos where I talk about the phytohormones of the plants. I can't remember the name of that video offhand. Maybe I can figure out how to hyperlink it up in the video like some people do. Those YouTubers that are like, if you're interested in finding out how to do this, click that video right there. So if no video pops up, then I guess I didn't figure out how to do it. But I think you can only do that at the end of the video. So I don't know. Now I'm digressing again. That's pretty much it, folks. Jacob Cultivates is starting to sweat, and I still have to water these girls. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it right there. This is pretty much just an update. We're just doing an update here in this episode, let you all know what's going on. And I guess we'll just talk a little bit further and catch anyone up who might be behind, curious what's up. I pollinated these plants, and they're under a double scrog system, screen of green netting system. The nets are right here. And not only did I work a vigorous training program of super cropping and widening the plant structures, but I also pollinated. I think I might have already said that. I pollinated, so I did lower branches, and the other one I think is this one. I'm not sure, but they're marked with twisty ties. The way everything worked out with this massive stretch, I decided that I'm going to harvest in multiple stages. So these major tops that we're looking at are going to be coming down first. And as I was saying, I was scheduled to take them down 2 days from now, but they might need a little bit more time. I mean, just look at the pistils. And as I talked about in the previous episode, I think I talked about it, the pistils aren't always the indicator. Some cultivars will continually push out white pistils for the whole grow. So you don't want to just say, oh, it's a bunch of white pistils, it's not ready. No, it might actually be ready. How we determine that is we get down there and we take a look at the trichome coverage. And we want to look at the maturation of the trichomes. So early trichome development is clear and transparent. Later mid-stage development they start to turn a milky coloration. Once they're at their full maximum potency, they're very milky. You can pretty much notice the difference in the hue once they start turning that milky color. And you don't even need any kind of optics to see that. It's usually discernible to the naked eye for those with the eye to see and know what they're looking at. And generally when they start to turn that very milky color, that's when the plant appears to have more frost. In all essence, it doesn't really have any more frost than it ever had. What's happening is you're just able to see that frost better. We're looking at a pollinated top here. So we'll get in there with a macro lens and we'll look at the maturation. The final, I was speaking on that and I got sidetracked. So your milky is your pretty much peak maturation, your milky colored trichomes. And in case anyone's still confused, who might not know what we're talking about here, your trichomes, those little things down there. I'll try to get a zoom. So it's all those little things sticking up that look kind of like little hairs. If we get closer than that, I'm not using a macro lens, so we're not going to be able to. But if we get closer than that, we'll see that they look like little bulbous mushroom heads. And those are what accounts for the psychoactivity of the plant. It's what gets you high, essentially, or part of what gets you high. All those little milky, hair-like looking things from a distance. They're actually mushroom bulbous looking. There's macros in my previous videos where you can see these real close. So right now we're peak maturation. I can tell you all that without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know if you guys can see how much I'm sweating, but Jacob Cultivates is sweating. I'm sweating so much, my safety glasses are starting to fog up, and the beads of sweat are getting ready to drip down in my eyeball sockets. So I think Jacob Cultivates is done. I've been keeping my pH meter in a cup of distilled water. Jacob Cultivates can't take it anymore, you guys. I'm done. I'm done. Jacob Cultivates is done. Thank you all for being here with me. Thank you for all the kind words, all the support. And hey, at the end of the day, I know what you're really doing here. Oh yeah. Jacob Cultivates knows what you're doing. You are.
Yeah, you're learning while we're burning on Jacob Cultivate.